All right, today we're on page 114, exercise 3.1. Got a chapter on logic here to work through. And as you can see on the screen, you're going to need some notes. So just write these notes down. I'll change this to red. Can everyone read that? That's symbolic language in logic. And it's read P and Q. I guess the way to remember is it looks like an A without the bar across it. So can you read this? If that's P and Q, this must be P V something. No, that's where it messes with you. That's the word or. This symbol is and. This symbol is or. Can you read this? That's called a tilde, but it means negate, parentheses, P and Q. Watch this. How do I negate P and Q? I say not P or not Q. Today is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday. Agreed? How would I negate that? What would I say if I negated that? Today is not Friday. And then I would say what? Or tomorrow is not Saturday. You go, well, that's not true. Well, I didn't ask whether it was true or not. I just said, can you negate it? You go, I'm sorry, but I don't say things that aren't true. Well, you'll have to when you study logic. And it happens that when I say P and Q, today is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday, that happens to be true. What if I said today is Friday and tomorrow is Sunday? Then that would be false, right? That would be a false statement. If I said today is Friday and tomorrow is Sunday, that would be a false statement. Why? Because I said and. And means both statements have to be true. But watch how I negate it. Today is not Friday, or tomorrow is not Sunday. Ah, it was false over here, so now what's the negation? True. Because today is not Friday is not true, but tomorrow is not Sunday is true. And or says either one can be true, and it's a true statement. And says both have to be true for it to be a true statement. You got that? So let's look at another one. How do I negate P or Q? Well, what do you think? Anybody want to guess? If I negate P and Q with not P or not Q, how would I negate P or Q? Not P and not Q. So you negate and by making it or and then negating the two parts of the statement. You negate or by changing it to and negating the two parts of the statement. You got that? Okay. Now, let's go down here. If I want to negate all A's are B, then I would say, if I say all apples are red, how would I negate that? I negate all with some. Some apples are not red. You follow me? If someone says all scholars agree, all you have to say is some scholars disagree. And you can usually find somebody somewhere who would disagree. So you're going to be closer to the truth than the other guy is. How would I negate no A's or B's? No apples are red. How would I negate no apples are red?
Some apples are red.
Some apples are red. You say all are red. I say, no, I can negate that by saying some are not. You say, well, none are red. I'm going, well, some are red. Sometimes in our heads, we think to negate none, you have to say all. And that's not logic. If we say none, then all I have to do to negate it is to find some. To negate some apples are red. How would I negate that?
Not all apples are red.
No. Now, see, because when you say some apples are red, then that also allows for some apples not to be red. But if I want to negate some apples are red, I say no apples are red. You got that? Write it down because you're going to need that information.
There's also on page 112, there's a nice diagram.
Yeah, I probably should have sent a message, an announcement out and said, read those pages. Those pages really help, don't they?
You did say that.
I did? Did I send you an announcement?
Yes.
I must have sent it a long time ago.
I think 2 days ago.
Well, that's when I was putting this together. See, I just forget what I did 2 days ago. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let's do part A on exercise 3.1, page 114. Recognizing statements. Okay, there's the key word. A statement is true or false, but not both. A statement can be true or it can be false, but it can't be both true and false. And that's called a statement. So every statement, if it's going to be called a statement, then it has to be, so is it true or is it false? You say, I don't know. Then it's not a statement in logic. Compound statements. Isn't there someplace in the English class where you study compound sentences? Which means what? There are two things. It has an and in it. And simple says only one thing. A simple sentence says one thing. Today is Friday. That's simple. True or false?
True.
True. Today is not Friday. See, I say today is Friday, you're okay with that. I say today is not Friday, you go, wait a minute. I'm saying, hey, don't get all worked up about it. I just made a false statement. Well, you shouldn't do that. Only speak the truth. But we're studying logic, so I have to illustrate both. It isn't like I'm leading you astray. I'm just saying we're understanding logic here. So, a simple statement, today is Friday. Today is Friday, and tomorrow is Saturday. What kind of statement is that? As a compound statement. Okay, now that we got this clear, let's look at exercise 2. Now, what are we supposed to do for 1 through 8? First, determine whether each sentence is a statement or not, which means it's either true or false. And then classify each sentence as a compound, or as a simple or a compound sentence. And if it's compound, give its components. So there's 3 things to do here. First, question number 2, lemons and oranges are citrus fruits. Is that a statement? Is it true or false? True. if you know citrus. But see, they didn't ask you to say whether it's true or false, but it can be determined whether it's true or false. So that makes it a statement. Now, is it simple or compound? It's compound because it says lemons and oranges. So the third thing they want you to do is name the two components. And what are the two components? Lemons, oranges. You follow that? Let's do number 4. Apples are citrus fruit. Apples are citrus fruits. Is that a statement? What kind of statement? It's a false statement, isn't it? Okay, yeah, and what kind is it? It's a simple statement. But it happens to be false. And see, they didn't ask about that. But the reason I keep bringing that up is because in our minds, we do that all the time. We go, that's not true. I mean, when I read 4, apples are citrus fruits, a little voice in the back of my head said, that's not true. So you have to come to grips with that little voice that keeps yelling at you, that's not true. Say, well, if that's not true, then that makes it a statement, because statements are either true or false. You follow the thinking? So you don't have to ignore that little voice. Just recognize that little voice will help you make the decision that that's a statement. And then if it's a statement, what kind is it? Simple or compound? It's simple because it only says one thing. Number 6, walk a mile. True or false? See? And see, when you say, there's no true or false for walk a mile. You need some more information. Therefore, what do you say about number 6?
It's not a statement.
It's not a statement. Now, how could I make it a statement? I walked a mile this morning. True or false? What do you think? I mean, you say, I don't know. Okay, what's the higher probability? True or false that I walked a mile this morning?
False.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right. It's too cold to be out walking, and who wants to walk a mile anyway? If it's a mile away, I'm getting in the car and driving there. Number 8, today is Sunday and tomorrow is Monday. Is that a statement? Yes. You go, yes, but it's false. You see, you get that. See, you get that feeling down your heart. Yes, but it's false. Okay, it's a false statement, isn't it? Today is Sunday and tomorrow is Monday. How would I negate that based on what we did with negation?
Today is not Sunday and tomorrow is not Monday.
Now, see, okay, today is not Sunday, but I wouldn't say and. How do I negate and? Or tomorrow is not Monday. Remember that up there? How do I negate? Get that picture down. You negate and by saying or. You negate or by saying and. Okay. Make a note of that. Because that's where he'll catch you on the test, is he'll give you, negate something, and he'll give you the choice of putting and or, and you have to make sure you get it straight. Okay, we've done enough of that. Now what are we going to do in problems 9 through 16? We're going to write each statement in symbolic form using the indicated letters. So they're telling us what letters to use to represent the corresponding components. Number 10, logic is a required subject for lawyers. And what letter did they say to use for logic is a required subject for lawyers? What letter for number 10?
R.
R. And I have no idea why. I'm thinking if I was picking the letters, I'd pick L. Logic for lawyers. But I don't get to choose the letters. They're telling me what to use. So I say R. Logic is a required subject for lawyers, but not for engineers. And so engineers are E, so what would be not engineers? Not E. So what do I do with but? Okay, now I only have two things in logic. I have and or. So what do you think? If I have to take all the connective words I use in my vocabulary and list them as and or, would but fit under the and list or the or list? What?
And.
Thank you. Does everyone agree and would be the list you'd put it under? Good for you. And you know what you probably need to do? If you struggle with this a little bit, just make a little T column thing. Kind of like this here. Whoops. Yeah, that'll work. And put and here and or here. And then start, okay, and what do we say? And, but is one of the words. Start making a list of all the words that are translated symbolically as and or in logic. You see, if you make a list of those words, then you can keep those in your notes and go back and just look at your notes for references to what do I use? Which symbol, and or? Number 12. Snoopy is not an aviator, and they're telling us to use not a. So I go not a, which makes sense. I'm thinking, see, I like that one in my heart because it's like not an aviator, A for aviator. But when they use letters I don't like, it just bothers me. Well, get bothered about it and go ahead and use the letter anyway. Do what they're telling you to do. Or, there's no question about that. Or is the symbol or. The Sopwith camel is an airplane. Or P. See what we're doing? We're taking phrases. They give letters to mean that phrase, and then I write it in symbolic form. Number 14. The stock market goes up. U. And. Where did I get and? Where does nevertheless go? Nevertheless goes under and. You follow me? You say, well, how do you know that? Okay, let's just do a little exercise here. You have two choices. The stock market goes up and my stocks stay down, or the stock market goes up but my stocks stay down. Which would you choose?
But.
You would? Well, make a note. In capital L logic, it's and. You go, well, that's not right. Well, you're not going to rewrite the rules for capital L logic. And for this whole chapter, we're going to have to use capital L logic. Whether we like it or not. I told somebody before class started, I took a class at the university, a whole course on logic. And loved it immensely, but I discovered something. The professor let me know that there were some high priests in the Church of Logic who write the textbooks for logic, and you never question them, even if they're not following the rules of logic they subscribe for the rest of us. And that's what I discovered. There's a church called Capital L Logic and a whole bunch of people who go there to worship. And they are not open to being criticized. They just criticize everybody else who isn't logical. Well, what about when you're not logical? And here's what happened. When I pointed out that the guy who wrote the textbook wasn't being logical in a capital L sense, he goes, Tom, I think you're being much too critical. As if that isn't what people who are logical do all the time, criticize the rest of the world and find fault with them. But you're not allowed to turn it around and use it against their scribes and Pharisees. Okay, so number 16, sorry. I will not drive to New York. However, I shall go by train or by plane. So where do you think however goes? Under the and list or the but list? And, good for you. However goes over here. All right? See why you want to just make a list of these words and figure out where to put them? I will not drive to New York. That's not D. And I will go by train or by plane. Number problem 17 to 20. Let P be Robin can type and Q be Robin takes shorthand. So I put up here, P is Robin. No, that's not right. Here, P is Robin can type. And I just use the letters, RCT. And Q is Robin takes shorthand, RTS. Now, what's number 18 say? Write in symbolic form. Robin can type, that would be P. But, that would be and. Does not take shorthand. Robin does not take shorthand, not Q. Everybody follow what we're doing? Good, number 20. It's not the case that Robin can type and take shorthand. And see, it is not the case. All of that is contained in that little tilde right there. It is not the case, and what this is not the case. That whole thing, it is not the case that Robin can type and Robin can take shorthand. And what would be another way to say that? Robin cannot type. What else? Or Robin cannot take shorthand. You understand why it's or when I take the parentheses away and distribute the not the case thing? See, if it's not the case that Robin can type and take shorthand, then that means either she can't type or she can't take shorthand, but it doesn't necessarily mean she can't do both. Number 21 to 25. Now they changed the rules again. P is Ricky loves Lucy, and Q is Lucy loves Ricky. So now give the verbal translation of number 22. It is not the case that, what's P stand for? Ricky loves Lucy, or Lucy loves Ricky. You follow that? I'm translating from this symbolic phrase. I'm translating from this symbolic phrase to these words right here. It's not the case that P, which is Ricky loves Lucy, or Q, Lucy loves Ricky. 24. Not P and not Q. How would I translate that into words? Ricky does not love Lucy. See how I say not P? P is Ricky loves Lucy, so not P is Ricky does not love Lucy. And Lucy does not love Ricky. How sad. Well, sometimes those things happen. Let's get over it. 26 to 31. Write the negation of each sentence. The negation. What does 26 say? It's a long time before the end of the semester. It says it's a long time before the end of the semester. See how I just take letters? Because it kind of lets me abbreviate what I'm doing the logic here. So what would I say to negate that? If I wanted to negate that, what would I do? It is not a long time before the end of the semester, of the term. You follow? Negate just means you put not in there. Or if it says not something, and you say it is. 28. What does 28 say? The number 10 is a round number. So, if the number 10 is a round number, how would I negate that? The number 10 is not a round number. And there's that little voice in the back of my head saying, that's a lie, and you're not supposed to lie. That's not true. It is a round number. We're not arguing that. We're just simply making logical negations. And you can figure, if a statement is true, then the negation is going to be false. If the statement's false, the negation is going to be true. And can you see where, when they make a true statement like this, that the number 10 is a round number? You go, yeah, that's right. So let's negate it. Let's say the number 10 is not a round number. I don't want to say that. And maybe to help yourself process that, say the number 10 is a round number, and that's true. So to say the number 10 is not a round number, that would be false, but I can still say it. You see how you kind of have to wrap your head around this stuff so you don't get emotionally involved and take offense. Say, that's just wrong. It's not, it's a negation. That's what it is. And yes, if the statement's true, the negation is false. Number 30. Your cat is not a Siamese. So, if your cat is not a Siamese, then what do I say to negate that? Your cat is a Siamese. You follow me? Number 32 to 34. Determine whether the statements P and Q are negations of each other. All right, this is going to get a little tricky. Okay, look at 32. What does it say? Sally is a very tall girl. Now, before you look any further at what the book says, how would you negate Sally is a very tall girl? How would you negate that? Based on what we've already talked about in class.
Sally is not a very
tall girl. You follow me? That's the negation of Sally is a very tall girl. To negate it, Sally is not a very tall girl. Now, what does 32 say for the second statement?
Sally is a very short girl.
So, is Q a negation of P?
No.
No. Everybody follow that? Q does not negate P. If you want to negate Q, Sally is a very short girl, how would you negate that? Sally is not a very short girl. You follow that? I mean, what? Are there only two classes of people, tall and short? No, there's a whole range of them in between. Number 34. All whole numbers are even. So if 34 says all whole numbers are even, How would I negate that? How do you negate all?
Not all. Some.
Where was it? Negate all with some. So what do I say here? Which one am I doing? 34. All whole numbers are even. Some whole numbers are not even. That would negate it, right? Now, let's see what 34Q says. At least one whole number is not even. Is at least one whole number equivalent to saying some? To say at least one whole number is not even, is that equivalent to saying some whole numbers are not even? If you say at least one, that makes allowance for what? Or there could be two, or three, or four, or more. What would at least one, or two, or three, or four, or more be? Some. So, 34 is a negation. In problems 35 to 49, give the negation. Now they just give the statement. 36, some women are teachers. Some women are teachers. How do I negate some? How do I negate some?
No.
Some are is to say what? No. So I go down here and say, what did I just say? Some women are teachers. So how do I negate that? No women are teachers. I know that's not true, but I'm just doing a negation. Since it's true that some women are teachers, then to negate it is going to be a false statement. 38. Some things are not what they appear to be. They've got this goofy picture here that hurts your head when you look at it from one side to the other. If you start at the left and look to the right, you see three poles. You start at the right, look to the left, you see a rectangular thing. That's just wrong to do that to us. If you put your hand in the middle and look at the two sides, you go, that's just stupid to draw a picture like that. But apart from the picture, the statement, some things are not what they appear to be. So how would I negate some things are not what they appear to be? How do I negate some?
No.
Okay, nothing. Some things are not what they appear to be. Let's go back up here. Where'd it go? Some is no things. So let's do that again. No things are not what they appear to be. Nothing is what it appears to be. So would that be equivalent? Now this would be the negation of it. Would that be the equivalent of saying all things are what they appear to be? If nothing is not, but to negate it, you would say No things are not what they appear to be. And you go, now we're using double negatives. Can we clean that up a little bit? Yeah, we can say all things are what they appear to be. All things are what they appear to be. Well, that might take a little time for that one. Number 40. Nobody does not like Sarah Lee. Nobody. How would I negate nobody? Somebody does not like Sarah Lee. You follow that? Nobody does not like Sarah Lee. I know somebody who does not like Sarah Lee. Number 42. Some men earn less than $5 per hour, and some men earn more than $50 per hour. So what I have here is S, letting this be S, maybe S5, and make this S50. Is that okay? Since I'm using S both places. Some men earn less than 5, and some men earn more than 50. So here's S less than 5 and S less than, or S more than 50. So how would I negate that? It's not the case that some earn less than 5 and some earn more than 50. And that would equal not S or not the second S, S5 and S50. And how would I say it's not the case? What was that thing about? No men earn less than 5, or no men earn more than 50. If I'm going to negate the thing. Number 44. Nothing is certain but death and taxes. So you say, well, then to negate it, I would say it's not the case that nothing is certain but death and taxes. So I wrote out in words, it's not the case that nothing is certain but death and taxes. So is there another way to say it? Nothing. How do you negate none? Some. So if nothing is certain but death and taxes, can I say something is certain other than death and taxes? I suppose something is certain, just to keep the same construction. Something is certain other than or besides. I have to fish around and find a connective word in my vocabulary. Something is certain other than death and taxes. Something is certain besides death and taxes. You find a connective word that makes sense in your head. But what we're doing here on 44 is negating. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Yeah, give the negation of each statement. Number 46. No one can sue us under this coverage. If no one can sue us, what's the negation of no one can sue us? Someone can sue us under this coverage. Number 48. None of your contributions are deductible. If none are deductible, what would you say to negate that? Some of your contributions are deductible. Number 50. That helps having those notes up there, doesn't it? To look at it as to how you negate all and how you negate some and how you negate none. Okay, number 50. What does number 50 say? The statement, not all people are awkward, is directly transformed into the statement, some people are not awkward, by which of the following logical equivalences? Number 50. Not all people are awkward. All people are awkward. It's not the case. How would I negate all people are awkward? Some people are not awkward. And what are they asking? So by which one of the following logical equivalences? So which one of these, 1, 2, A, B, C, D, which one is reflecting the rules about, what did it say? Not all. How do you, which one reflects the rules about all and some? C. Everybody follow that? Number 52. You are legally married or divorced. So see, I put married or divorced, and then I put it in parentheses because of that comma there. And then I put and you're currently enrolled, which is E. They're telling you what letters to use. So when you read these things, you say, how do you know where to put the parentheses? Look for the comma. Look for the comma in the sentence. Weren't you told that someplace in English class? Look for the comma. 54. You must be a U.S. citizen. That's C. Or an eligible non-citizen. That's N. See that comma? So that comma says I put parentheses around it. And then what's it say next? And, so I put the symbol for and, be enrolled in a degree as a degree-seeking student, and they call that E. You follow what we're doing? We're taking these words and translating them into symbolic statements using the letters that they prescribe there in the problems. Number 56. Let P be today is Friday. And let Q be tomorrow is Saturday. Write the negation of each. Okay, what does A say? Read A for number 56. Symbolically, it's P and Q, right? So what would that be in words? Today is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday. And what do they want you to do? Write the negation of it. So how do I negate this? How do I negate that? Not P or not Q. And in words that would be today is not Friday or tomorrow is not Saturday. You go, well, that's just not true. I know, because today is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday is a true statement. So that means when I negate it, it's going to be a false statement. B. Can you read what this says? Can you say that in words? Today is Friday and tomorrow is not Saturday. Is that true or false?
False.
False, because tomorrow is Saturday. And we said and. So that's a false statement. Now let's negate it. What's the negation of P and not Q? Not P or Q. Now read that in words. Today is not Friday or tomorrow is Saturday. If the original statement was false, then that means the negation is going to be true. And it is, isn't it? today is not Friday, that's false. Or tomorrow is Saturday, that's true. If I said, I'm going to run a mile around campus and stop at the Price Chopper on my way home from class today, if I stopped at Price Chopper and I didn't run the mile, I didn't tell the truth. But if I said, I'm going to run a mile around campus or stop at Price Chopper on my way home, I stop at Price Chopper, I told the truth. You go, no, you didn't. You didn't run a mile. I said or. See the difference between or and? How powerful those are when you use them? Well, that looks like that takes care of this. So let's turn this thing off. And your test is up here on the table. Come and pick it up.